Hi everybody, welcome to our presentation on how to crush your sugar habit while still living your life. My name is Candace Nelson. I'm a Master of Science and Applied Nutrition student at the University of New England, a health journalist, and a recovering sugar addict. Not to get too personal into your life, but I suspect you might be consuming too much sugar too. Today we will talk about sugar, why we like it so much, how it affects our bodies, look at some consumption facts and trends. We'll discuss reasons to reduce our sugar consumption and ideas for how. Then we'll make power bars with no added sugar. And finally, we'll have the opportunity to take the no sugar challenge. To get started, let's think about sugar in nature. Nature made sugar hard to get. Sugar was only available for harvest a few months out of the year. It was literally guarded by bees. Humans made it easy to get. The environment we created make it easier to consume than whole foods. We mass produce artificial sweeteners in labs and we add it liberally to foods. It's so easy to get that we're eating almost 3 times as much as we should on average. Americans 2 years and older eat 17.4 teaspoons or 73 grams of sugar per day. The World Health Organization recommends somebody eating a 2,000 calorie diet have no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day, though ideally that would be closer to 20 grams. So for reference, that's 10% of your daily caloric intake from added sugar, although ideally that would be closer to 5%. One soda is easily over that recommendation with 40 to 70 grams of sugar per serving. It's an epidemic. As you can see from this chart, sugar consumption has been going down in recent years. So this is the 2001 to 2004 is represented by the darker bars and 2007 to 2010 by the lighter bars. So for all age groups and 2 sexes, sugar consumption is down across the board. However, it's still well above this USDA recommended amount, which is shown by the horizontal black bars. So we still have a lot of work to do in our sugar reduction. True or false? You don't have a sweet tooth and you don't drink soda, so you don't have to worry about added sugar, right? That's false. For the US population, 47% of added sugar comes from beverages. That doesn't include milk or 100% fruit juice. Snacks and sweets contribute 31% of our sugar intake. Grains, which includes cereal and granola bars, adds 8%. Mixed dishes like salads and dishes with sauces that contain sugar contribute about 6% of our sugar intake. And finally, dairy contributes 4%, and that includes flavored milks and flavored yogurts. Several things impact what we choose to eat, including the availability of food, taste, preferences, whether we think we'll feel satisfied after eating it, and of course, pleasure. Many people perceive healthy food to be less tasty, boring, insubstantial, or monotonous. In a study, people associated healthy eating with these words, and then they were offered a few days' worth of healthy meals to try. The participants were surprised that the food in those healthy meals actually resembled what they ate already. It included things that they thought were off limits, like rice, bread, and potatoes. This shows that proper portion sizes in healthy foods can be appealing and filling. And that's important to note because what we choose to eat has both short-term and long-term consequences. In the long term, excess sugar consumption can lead to high blood sugar, which in turn leads to weight gain and diabetes, strain on the heart, which can lead to heart failure. It affects our brain, it affects memory and our processing capacity. It interrupts the kidneys' filtering process, which can lead to buildup of waste in our bodies. It also affects joints, sexual health, liver, and skin. We're at risk for chronic disease in America. About half of adults have at least one chronic disease, and a quarter of adults have 2 or more chronic diseases. 7 out of 10 of the leading causes of death are nutrition related. They include heart disease, cancer, chronic lower respiratory disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes. 2/3 of adults are overweight, and more than a third are obese. The costs of obesity are high, both directly and indirectly. Direct costs include preventive and diagnostic care and treatment. That includes hospital visits and home care. Indirect costs can be things like wages lost or loss of future wages. In 2003 to 2004, $431 billion was attributed to the direct and indirect causes of obesity. Most of this was due to type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and hypertension. 75% of U.S. healthcare dollars are spent treating food-related conditions, and about half of this is paid for by Medicare and Medicaid. It's not your fault. Individual lifestyle choices used to be blamed for diabetes. We were told to eat less and exercise more, but that advice just isn't cutting it anymore. Now the nutrition community is acknowledging that the environment we live in fuels unhealthy lifestyles. We have a culture of busyness and driving. Eating prepared foods is often easier and it's affordable, so we tend to do that instead of cooking for ourselves at home. And as a result, our health isn't so great. Healthy Eating Index scores adherence to the U.S. dietary guidelines. Right now, our score is about 58.7 out of 100. So our average diet isn't helpful to us. We don't get enough fruits or vegetables. We're consuming too much oil, sugar, fat, and sodium. We also tend to eat grains, but not necessarily whole grains, which are more nutritious. So it's not your fault, but it is up to you to do something about it. And that's not always easy because your brain is conditioned to like sugar. It taps the reward center and makes you want more. And the food industry knows this, and they capitalize on our natural tendencies to consume fat and sugar. It's big business. Food manufacturing companies employ millions and answer to shareholders, so they have direct motivation to keep us addicted to sugar. The grocery store industry alone is a $190 billion industry. Burger King ran ads on TV 26,000 times in just 3 months of 2017. So it's hard to escape images of tasty food. Nestle spent $2.75 billion on advertising in 1 year, and Coca-Cola spent $355 million. Let's try another question. True or false? You shouldn't eat fruit because it's packed with sugar. That's false. When we talk about added sugar, we mean monosaccharides, such as glucose, and disaccharides that are added to food. It can get added to food or to drinks by the manufacturer, by the cook, by the consumer. It goes by many names, and you'll see a sampling of them here. It also includes sugars that are present in nature, such as honey, syrup, and fruit juice. That's right, fruit juice doesn't get a pass. 100% fruit juice is hard on the body. When fiber is stripped away from fruit, the natural sugars in juices or smoothies will be absorbed quickly into the bloodstream, causing it to a spike in blood sugar. That doesn't happen when we're consuming whole fruit. And for reference, sugar-sweetened beverages are defined as any beverage that contains at least 50 calories per serving. So this can include things like soda, energy drinks, fruit drinks, sugar-filled coffee, and sports drinks. On average, we drink a lot of sugar, especially in the form of soda. Diet soda doesn't contain the same calories as sugar-sweetened beverages, but studies do link drinking soda with increased rates of overeating and weight gain. It's unclear whether the chemicals in artificial sweeteners in diet soda stop you from feeling full and therefore you eat more, or if it's that people tend to eat more because they had diet, so they feel like they deserve to eat more calories. The results from alcohol are mixed. Alcoholic drinks do have high calorie count, but the body doesn't metabolize sugar from alcohol in the same way as it does, say, table sugar. So it's not well absorbed into the body, and it doesn't have the same effect on us that sugar does. Despite containing lactose, a natural sugar in milk, low-fat dairy is actually associated with a decrease in risk for type 2 diabetes. Dairy also supplies key nutrients to the body. So make sure to choose low-fat milk when you're having dairy, because higher fat versions contain saturated fat, which leads to a different problem. And when in doubt, clean, fresh water is always a healthy choice for a beverage. So let's talk about sugar substitutes. These are commonly found in sports drinks and soda, different processed foods. Several studies have tested the effects of high fructose corn syrup versus sucrose, and they found that there was really no difference in weight gain or body mass when study participants consumed different ratios of sugar or high fructose corn syrup, which tells us that it's really the quantity of sugar as opposed to what type of sugar was used. Studies are mixed when it comes to how artificial sweeteners affect the body. You'll recognize some of these examples from your favorite diner. Because those studies are inconclusive, it's recommended that you just skip them. Sugar, both natural and artificial, is found in a lot of processed foods. In this example, seemingly healthy breakfast cereal packs 13 grams of sugar per serving. So keep in mind that if you eat more than the serving size, you could easily get your day's worth of sugar before you even leave the house in the morning. Sugar also sneaks into other seemingly healthy foods and drinks. Drinks like iced tea, smoothies, non-dairy milks, and coconut water all pack sugar. In food, you can find it in cereal, granola, sauces, salad dressings. So just keep an eye on your sugar content. And don't forget that those pre-gym snacks also contain sugar in some form or another. You might not realize how much sugar is in sports recovery drinks, gummy vitamins, and protein shakes. So watch overeating. Since sugar is in so many of these foods, it's really important to watch the portion size. Again, a little bit extra means a lot of extra sugar in your diet. So read those food labels, make sure you look for sugars by names you might not know about. Go back to that previous slide. And a kitchen scale is helpful in validating a serving size. One reason commonly given for consuming too much sugar is the halo effect. The halo effect is the idea that we were good, so we feel like we deserve a reward. So several reasons for that. One is that the food package has health claims on it, such as low in fat or low in sugar. Natural or organic ingredients can be perceived as healthy. In a study, participants were given organic Oreos and regular Oreos, and they assumed that the organic Oreos consumed fewer calories, and they actually deemed them more appropriate to eat frequently, even though they had the nutrition facts right in front of them, and they were no better. Also, eating at a restaurant that claims to be healthy can trick us. A study showed that people were more likely to add side dishes to a meal from a restaurant that claims to be healthy, such as Subway. Other restaurants like McDonald's don't really make health claims, and so people don't have the perception that they're eating healthy when they go there. Claims can also be misleading. For example, meat could be labeled 75% lean or 25% fat. Those both mean the same thing, but just having the word lean on the package can trick us. And there are justifications, like I didn't have a Coke with my meal, so I'll just have dessert. Or physical activity. In fact, when people felt like physical activity was exercise versus fun play, they were more likely to feel like they worked hard and consume more food as a result.